Do you ever find yourself dead tired at night, but you can't seem to allow yourself to go to bed, no matter how much your body is begging you, please, please let me go to sleep. I am burnt. I am tired. But in your mind, you're just like, I cannot. I cannot allow it because I spent too many hours at work today. I spent too much time studying today, and I need my me time. Well, my friend, you might be dealing with revenge sleep procrastination, and we're going to talk all about that in this video, and we're going to start right now. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Revenge sleep procrastination. Where did it come from? Well, apparently, it's not new to science. It's one of the oldest things that people have been dealing with forever. They've been studying it a lot. But the term revenge was something that they added to it back in the 2010s. Post-economic crash, post-2008, when everyone was finding themselves having to work multiple jobs, working longer hours just to make ends meet. And in having to work longer hours and having to engage in more activities just to make ends meet, people found themselves more deprived of sleep. But why? Why is that the case? Not so much because they're working longer hours, but because they want to feel like they're in control of their free time. So if you're used to working 8 hours a day, then suddenly to make ends meet, you have to work 12, 14 hours a day. Well, you're likely to stay up later for your leisurely time, for your you time, especially if you're a parent working and raising kids at the same time. You're more likely to stay up later just to have that little bit of me time. And that's where the term revenge sleep procrastination comes in, because the idea of revenge is that you're doing it against your will, where if you had control of the situation, you wouldn't have to do it. But because you have to do it, then you have to make up for that lost time that you didn't have control over, thus staying up late to read books, play video games, watch your Netflix shows, binge on things, but in turn deprive yourself of sleep. That can lead to all kinds of problems: diabetes, obesity, lack of focus, accidents. I mean, there's been so many instances of terrible, terrible car accidents happening, not because the driver was drunk or because the driver was high, but because the driver was deprived of sleep. And that's something that's been sweeping the world as of late. In China, many tech companies in China were practicing the 996 work schedule, where they would have their staffers work 9 to 9, 6 days a week. And it was horrendous. And that's where the idea of revenge sleep procrastination became more popular in social media, platforms like TikTok and Instagram, where people were talking more about it, because people that had to work in these tech jobs were working these Looney Tune hours where they weren't getting any kind of leisurely social life outside of work, and finding themselves staying up late just to have that feeling of control that I do have some leisurely time in my life. I do have time to knit or whatever I like to do in my free time outside of this job that I likely don't even like to begin with. So studies have three categories of people that engage in this sort of behavior. The first one being the person that is overworked. Your doctors, your lawyers, folks who work multiple jobs, or entrepreneurs, the go-getters, people that just have to put in a lot of hours to create their own success. The second category is people who are just night owls. They're just people who live to be up at night. They can't help it. They just do everything at night because that's just when they're the most creative or the most alert and whereabout, and they're just night owls. Those are people who just nightly stay up at night, and they work night jobs and the such, like overnight nurses and things like that. They're just night owls. Then you also have the people who are just procrastinators in general, people who will procrastinate in anything. You can call them lazy, you can call them useless people in society. Some people go to that extreme. I don't. It's just there are people who are motivated and people who aren't. But those are the three categories. Now, where do you fall in all of those? Me personally, I think I'm a little bit of all three to a degree. So when it comes to procrastinating, all my life through school, I always left everything till the last possible minute. Whenever I had an essay due, I'm literally writing the essay 8 hours before it's due. Or when it's time to get my admissions test done, I'm waiting until I got like 2 days left to get my admissions test done. Or being a night owl in general, most of my teenage life, and I feel like a lot of people can attest to this. Everybody had some degree of this. Most of my teenage life, I was staying up late, playing video games, watching porn, doing all things that teenagers do, right? Talking with my friends or sneaking out. Then there's my work, my line of work during the day. I spend a lot of time working and doing things that I don't terribly enjoy much, and that makes all the difference as well. If you're working a job that you don't really enjoy doing, that can really lead you to wanting to engage in things like revenge sleep deprivation, because otherwise you feel like you're not in control of your life. Almost like you don't matter. There was one point where I was working 2 full-time jobs, 80 plus hours a week. And at first I felt accomplished, like, yeah, I'm doing what I got to do to provide for my family. But then after a while, you look around you and you see your friends, you see other coworkers who have it more together than you. Going on vacations, going on trips. What are you doing today? I'm going to the beach. That sounds nice. That sounds really good. I wish I could take a Saturday off. You know, in my line of work, I work every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 8 to 9 p.m. And it sucks. It sucks to see your friends and your family. Like, what did you do this Saturday? Oh, I went ziplining, or I went out to the park with the kids, or little things like, man, I went to the mall just to walk around. You know, and after a while, it can eat at you. It can make you feel like you're a loser. It can make you feel like you're less than, like you're worthless, or like you made nothing but bad decisions in your life. And the only way you can combat those things is by staying up late and doing what you want to do, what you feel like doing, what makes you feel good for you, even if it's just you, right? Because a lot of us would like to spend time with the kids, would like to go and do nice things or what have you, but you can't. You can't, because you live paycheck to paycheck, and you can't afford to take 4 hours off because you come up short on your rent. Gas prices are going up, and I won't be able to pump enough gas in my tank to get by. And there are people who have great jobs. They live a life of excess. You know, they have plenty. They just have a lifestyle that they like to keep. And so they rather commit to that than to cut back a little bit and have that free time. And I'm not here to judge any single one of them. Everybody has their own thing, and you do what you want to do. Now, what are some ways that you can combat this phenomenon? That you can train yourself or allow yourself sleep? Because sleep is every bit as important as your you time, your free time. Because without decent sleep, you could find yourself getting fired from that job you work so much because you're making mistakes, you're not making the right judgment calls, or you make the wrong, business decisions that can cost you dearly. What are some ways to get around it? What are some ways to deal with it, to get better sleep or to engage less in sleep procrastination when you don't want to? Because there's been plenty of times where I'm up, I'm watching my Netflix, I'm having a good time, and the next thing you know, I look at the clock and I'm like, oh shit, it is 4 a.m. and I gotta be up at 6. Or there's been times where I'm up till like 3 in the morning, and then stupidly I watch a comedy special, and then I'm wired, and then I'm up, and then next thing you know, the sun's coming up. And I know that, man, I have a 12-hour shift ahead of me. I gotta work 12 hours today, bell to bell. And I got no sleep. The next thing you know, you're thinking about how to call out, how to not go to work, because I know I need to get some sleep. And then many of us have jobs where it's high stress, that even if you are off, even if you're off, you're not off. You still get those phone calls. You still get those emails. And everyone still expects a whole lot out of you, even though you are off. And that can be really stressful. And things like that can really make you engage all the more in activities that make you feel like you are free. So one of the first things I wanted to point out is that something I often engage in is in watching or listening to ASMR. ASMR in its infancy, a lot of people looked at it like a kooky whack job thing that, only weirdos listen to and engage in. It's so weird and it's too strange. It's really strange. I don't like it. I find it weird, and no, I'm not doing that. Well, I gave it a shot years ago after watching an episode of SciShow or Hank Green. He just mentioned it in passing at the end of one of his videos. And just him giving a demonstration while having one of these headphones on gave me those feelings of like, oh shit, okay. And then I went to explore. I started looking up ASMR videos, and then my first channel I saw was Calming Escape, where she's doing a doctor's role play. And it really helped me to kind of shut off the switches up here and put myself in a feeling of relaxation where I can get some sleep. Now, there's still plenty of times where I engage and I watch, and my mind is like something deep within my mind is fighting it. It's just fighting it, not letting me go to sleep. But it does help. Then, of course, there's sleep aids. You have lots of sleep aids that you can take. I recommend Obviously, you should consult with a doctor before you take any kind of sleep aids to make sure you find the right kind of sleep aid, if that's even the right thing for you. That's another method. Stop consuming fluids 3 hours before bed. Try your best not to rely on sugar and caffeine to fuel your day, and try to submerge yourself in an environment that is geared towards sleeping. TikTok can make it really difficult to fall asleep. If you're into the kind of TikTok that I'm into, I watch a lot of comedy TikTok. I like to watch, things that just make me laugh. And if I turn on my phone in bed, doesn't matter how much ASMR is going on in the background, or how much like water sounds or white noise, and how cool my pillow is, and fill in the blank, I am not going to fall asleep if I'm looking at TikTok. I am just not going to do it, because I'm going to be cackling, I'm going to be giggling and looking for the next thing. Next thing you know, it's 2 in the morning, it's 3 in the morning, and I'm engaging in the exact same thing. So try to avoid social media when it's time for bed. You get into bed, it's time for bed. And keep it to just audio type things that will help you relax, help you sleep. And I'd like to hear from you. What drives your revenge sleep procrastination? Leave your comments in the section below, and share this video with the night owls in your life. And that's it, my friends. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss anything new whenever I put it out. And as always, thanks for watching. Peace.